I want to give a couple of thoughts about professional pool and professional pool players. But before I do, I need to give you some context for what I'm talking about. Now, over the past couple of decades, our professional sports leagues, namely the NBA, the NFL, the MLB, the cost of attending these games has increased. The level of advertising that you're forced to consume when you go to these games has increased. The cost of viewing this stuff on your television has increased and is going to do nothing but increase as it moves from the cable platform to streaming. So you'll have to subscribe to all these streaming services to consume what you used to back in the 80s. All of it was free because you watched it on broadcast television. Now, the salaries of the players for these teams has increased. Now, I do not begrudge the players for making money. I don't even begrudge the college players now for making money. They deserve every penny that they have coming to them, especially the guys who are playing football, who are injuring themselves, sustaining brain injuries. They need to have all the money that they can be paid. So it's not about that. And I'm not even saying that pool players deserve any more money than they get. You deserve what you generate in revenue. So that's not my discussion. But that does bring me to my first point. This is a point that Earl Strickland has always made, that professional athletes, they get paid a lot of money to play their game. So the average NFL player makes between $2.8 and $3.2 million a year just to play. That's not to win a single game. That's not to perform well. That's just to play, just to show up to the stadium and play. A pool player, on the other hand, has to win to be paid. Like Earl would say, I have to perform to eat. I have to make a match, a gambling match outside of a tournament perhaps, and I have to win that match to get paid. I just don't show up to a match and get paid. Now, a lot of players are supported by backers. If they're not supported by family, they're supported by backers. But it's not going to be very long. You don't have to lose very much for a backer to move on from you. So there's a whole lot more pressure put on the back of a pool player to perform and win, to stay in the game, than any other, I think, competitor out there. So I think that shows that pool players, they have a tremendous amount of heart to stay in the game that long. And, it's do or die. It's win or starve kind of existence. So I have a lot of respect for that. So that's one point. The other point I would like to make is just the overall accessibility of the pro player to the amateur player. Now, a lot of amateur pool players do not care at all about the professional competitor, the professional tournaments, the professional level. That was evident when I went to the Galveston World Classic. They had a professional side and an amateur side. The amateurs did not care one little bit about coming over to the pro side and sweating any of the matches, which I thought was weird because they had all the best players in the world. Some of the best players of the past 30, 40 years were there. It was a great gathering of all the greats for you to be able to interact with and watch. Now, it's still true to this day that pool players are extremely accessible. I've never heard of one that are not approachable in public. Like if you approach them at a tournament, they'll talk to you. And for, something like $50, $100, they'll play you a short set if you encounter them in a pool room. If you walked up and said to Shane or to Alex or, name the pro, hey, would you play me a race to 5 for 100? I think just about any of them would do that. Also, pool, there are still events where you can show up and play in a tournament and draw a champion. Like last year, one of my young friends who's just now starting out in the game went to the Texas Open. He signs up. He draws Shane in the first round, arguably the greatest player of all time. He got to play in a match in a tournament. And those opportunities are still out there for anybody. And I don't know of another sport where you have that kind of accessibility to hang out with the best of the best. So those are the couple of things that I had to say about pool. Hopefully, as the money increases and the players get paid more, that we don't lose that type of accessibility. But for now, we have it. All right, so that's all I have. See you in the next video. Have a great day.